Hey there, Gaming Master fans. It's Gaming Master here, and today I've got the saddest news yet. This news is even worse than you think, and there's double bad news here. There is double bad news. Here's the first piece of the bad news, and I'm extremely depressed and very sad about this double bad news that happened. So the first piece of bad news is that the Legacy Video Maker is retiring in the next few hours. It's retiring in just a few hours from now, and the worst part about that is when the Legacy Video Maker retires, Comedy World will no longer be available, which means that any type of Comedy World avatars that you may try to create, they're not going to work because Comedy World is going to be shut down as soon as the Legacy Video Maker retires. And everyone that uses GoAnimate is very upset about the Legacy Video Maker retiring. And here's the other piece of bad news. So, at around 12:15 today, I hopped in the shower and my grandmother told me that she was going out to an appointment at a nail spa and she was also going to pick up McDonald's for lunch. She asked me what I wanted from McDonald's before I hopped in the shower. And then at around 2:38 um at around 2:38 p.m. today, I noticed that my girlfriend Shining Starko was posting a premiere about the end of the Legacy Video Maker, and when the premiere started, like when my girlfriend Shining Starko's premiere started, when we were about a minute into her premiere, my grandmother got back from the nail spot and she also came back with the McDonald's. And the thing is, my grandmother is has an injured leg because she's she's at a very old age and she's walking on an injured leg because I noticed like with any type of human being, if you get very old at some point, your bones can start to get weak and it can make you very hard to walk on something, like to walk on it. And my grandmother is on an injured leg. And yeah, so anyways, let's get back to this. So when my grandmother arrived home, uh, my my grandparent wanted me to help her with the McDonald's, but the only thing is, I didn't want to miss my girlfriend's important premiere because I wanted to see her entire premiere, and her premiere was only 7 minutes long because I saw that in the title, like it said 7 minutes long, and I don't know why, but I don't know why my grandparent could have just waited 6 more minutes when he started to say that I had to help my grandmother bring in the McDonald's. I mean, I had to carry in the drinks and my grandmother carried in the bag and a bag of clothes cuz she had a bag of clothes from my mother. Like my mother and my grandparents give each other clothes to wash, like clothes to wash in the washer and dryer. And then uh, when I kept arguing about not helping out because I didn't want to miss my girlfriend's premiere, uh, I missed out on, I think, about the last 4 minutes of her premiere, and I didn't get to see what was going on in the last 4 minutes because of how much arguing I was doing. And then after all this arguing, my dad even heard about this, and then he came up to interject with this, and then all he did, he came by me and just snatched my phone and headphones, and then he forced me to go and help my grandmother with the McDonald's. And my dad said that he doesn't give an S if I'm missing my girlfriend's premieres. And yeah, he literally said the S word at me. He literally said he doesn't give an S if I'm missing the last few minutes of my girlfriend's premiere. And that proves that he doesn't care if I miss premieres or not. Like he does like my dad doesn't understand that premieres are important for me to watch and I don't want to miss them. But the thing is, my dad said that it's more important to help out with help out a grandmother with groceries. Like, I do agree with that, but I also didn't want to miss that important premiere because I was enjoying watching it. But I do agree with him that it's more important to help my grandmother, and I've done that since 2016. Like, ever since she got the injured leg in 2016, I've been helping her ever since. Like, I've helped her ever since when she started to have that injured leg. I was helping her carry in groceries and do a lot of the same stuff. Like I was helping her out with that, and it just doesn't make sense to me that my dad had to yell at me because after he took away the phone and then when my grandmother was setting up the McDonald's, um, uh, my dad yelled at me so much, thinking like, "Why do you think a premiere is more important for you to watch than helping your grandmother?" And normally, when he asks me those type of questions, I don't really have a clear answer because all I'm gonna come up with is an excuse, and he thinks that everything I come up with is just an excuse to get out of it. And he thinks that everything I do is an excuse, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't understand why it doesn't make an excuse to me. Like, it doesn't. And like, he thinks everything I say is an excuse and not the real truth. I really didn't want to miss my girlfriend's premiere. Like, I was even trying to tell my grandparent if I could just take my phone with me and help her because I can carry a I like those things that they put the drinks in at McDonald's, like those containers. I can carry that. I can carry that with one hand. Like, all I do is make my hand flat and I just carry it, making sure that I'm balancing it right, and then I would probably put the phone down on the table and use my other hand to lay the drinks down gently and make sure I don't make sure they don't spill and I don't make a huge mess. But since I kept refusing, my dad just came into the incident and snatched away my phone and headphones and just gave them to my grandparent and then forced me to go help with my grandmother, like go help my grandmother with the McDonald's. And I mean, I got yelled at after that. And then while I was eating my McDonald's, I just said to myself, like, why do I have such a hard time doing this? I kept saying to myself, why do I have such a hard time doing this? I have the worst life. I'm the worst kid. Like, I kept saying that to myself, like, why is my life so terrible? Because it just seems like I can't do anything right. And it seems like I constantly do this type of stuff just to make my parents and grandparents extremely mad. And it's like the same incident happens with my mother. Like, if I don't do one simple little thing, my mother will get mad at me and she will act really rude towards me. And it just seems like it just seems like my parents and grandparents do. It just seems like my parents and grandparents think that I constantly do things just to get into a lot of trouble. And I technically don't do a lot of bad stuff just to get in trouble. Like, I haven't ignored them a lot. I've been following nearly everything that they have been telling me ever since. And it just doesn't make sense to me that this continues to happen to me. Like, what is up with that? I just don't get it anymore, guys. I don't get it anymore. I don't understand why this keeps happening to me. I don't get it. I seriously don't get it. And then when I put the rest of my McDonald's away in the fridge, I started to get ready to go up to my mother's house, and then we had a serious talk about the attitude that I've been having recently. Because my attitude, like, my parents and grandparents think that my attitude is always rude to them when personally it's not rude to them. They just think that it is constantly rude to them all the time. They just think that constantly. And my attitude towards them is trying to be nice all the time, but it seems like my parents and grandparents don't believe me, and they think that my attitude towards them is really, really strict and very mean when it's not. They just think the same thing over and over again. And it gets me out of shape about why my parents and grandparents can't just believe me about my attitude. They always think that it's mean when it's not. And because of them thinking that I have so much of a big attitude towards them, this is the worst part. My parents and grandparents don't love me anymore. They don't trust me anymore, and they don't believe me in anything anymore. They don't trust me, they don't believe me, and they don't love me anymore, which means that they don't want to be around me anymore. They seriously do not want to be around me anymore. They do not love me anymore, and they made my feelings extremely hurt. I got yelled at by my own dad, and it just seems like my life has been terrible since 2010. My life has been terrible for almost 10 years now since 2010. Because 2010 is when this arguing incident started to get into play. And I'm only 17 years old. So I started to get treated meanly at 7 years old. Really? Only 7 years old. I was a little child at that time and I got freaking yelled at 7 years old. How mean are my parents and grandparents, to be honest with all of you guys? How mean are they? They just don't seem to get it. I try to be nice to them all the time. And after every bit of respect that I tried to give to my dad, that I tried to give to my parents and grandparents, they all treated me back with disrespect and made my life so horrible. And the worst part is I keep declining the chances that I get to try and change my life, which means that I don't think I'll ever be able to change my life at all. My dad and grandparents threw a huge fit today just because I kept refusing to help my grandmother with the McDonald's, just because I wanted to see the full premiere of my girlfriend's video about the legacy video maker retiring in the next few hours. That the premiere started at 2:45, which is when my grandmother pulled back into the driveway. Why did they have to throw such a huge fit a minute after the premiere started? They couldn't just wait another 6 more minutes and then I would have helped afterwards. But they didn't do that. They just kept forcing me to do it. I thought my grandmother could have handled this on her own, but she didn't. And my life has been terrible since 2010. At only 7 years of age is when this happened to me. My life is completely terrible. It's out of hand. It's out of hand. I can't take it, guys. It's seriously getting into me big time. I don't really know if I can take it anymore. My parents and grandparents have been so mean to me since 2010, and it's almost happened for 10 straight years. God, what is wrong with my life? And what is wrong with my attitude towards them? I always try to have a good attitude towards my dad and grandparents, and they always have to treat me back with disrespect, including my mother. They all do the same thing to me after all the respect I gave them. They literally injured my life so bad and impacted it big time. I don't know if I can handle it anymore, guys. This is so bad. I'm so sad and very upset about this. That my parents and grandparents don't have any more trust, don't believe me, and don't love me anymore. This is so horrible. This is so freaking horrible. God, I can't stop crying. I'm gonna be crying for the rest of the night, guys. Please make comfort videos out of me again. I really need them so badly because of what happened to me. Oh my god. Please comfort me, guys. I need them so bad after what happened to me. After everything I did for my dad and grandparents, and after all the fun I had, all the relationships that I have with them, it's done. They don't love me anymore, and all our relationships are canceled. The only relationship that I have now is with my girlfriend, Shining Stargo. That's the only relationship I have. I wish I had more relationships than that, but I don't anymore because of my grandparents and my parents thinking that I have a rude attitude towards them when I don't. Please make comfort videos out of me, guys. I need them so badly. Or else I'm just gonna keep crying in tears for the whole night until I fall asleep later on. I'm gonna be crying so much for the rest of the night that I already have tears in my eyes. So please make comfort videos out of me again, guys. I need them so badly. I cannot handle being yelled at all the time for stupid reasons. Even after all the respect that I gave my parents and grandparents, why did they just have to treat me back with disrespect? I don't get this, guys. I don't. It's just terrible. It's terrible. My family doesn't want to support me anymore or give me any more love. Why would they do that to me? Why would they do that? That literally hurt my feelings and it split my heart in half inside of me. My heart inside of me is split in half right now. I'm very, very upset. Oh my god, guys, I don't know what to say anymore. Except my life is the worst life ever on this planet Earth. My life is the worst life ever on planet Earth. Please make comfort or comfort post pictures out of me. Please make comfort videos or comfort post pictures out of me. Like, I don't care if it's a video or a post picture, just do it for me, guys. I really need them so badly because of my family not trusting me anymore. Oh my god, I hate my life so much. Anyways, this is Gaming Master signing off.